Genie News. Ba-bum.
Good morning, I'm Rebecca Kruger and welcome to Genie News. This morning we'll investigate the recent outbreak of woolly aphids among apple orchards. Due to the lack of genetically resistant rootstocks, it is believed due to constant cloning of the popular rootstocks they've now become susceptible to woolly aphids, as they all have the same DNA. As a result, it has been impacting the already shallow pockets of consumers during the cost of living crisis. We now cross over live to field reporter Sasha Gifford, who is at the epicentre of the outbreak, with researcher Dr. Andrea who has been leading the team in stopping the crisis.
Thanks, Rebecca. This outbreak is certainly disastrous for the apple industry in South Australia. Behind me, we have the Way Orchard, where Dr. Miller is currently undertaking research on this problem. Dr. Miller, can you please tell us a bit more about the issue?
Thank you, Sasha. This is certainly a disaster for our industry. As you can see behind us, the woolly aphids are causing poor plant growth, curled yellow leaves, and reduced fruit production. This is why you are seeing less apples in the supermarket lately.
This is devastating for the growers in South Australia. Is there any reason for this large infestation of woolly aphids?
Yes, Sasha, this is to do with the lack of genetically resistant rootstocks being used in orchard production. Commercially, growers are cloning rootstocks asexually to improve apple production, meaning that the DNA from one rootstock to another is an exact copy. This creates a small gene pool within the variety of rootstocks that can be commercially available for mass production and reduces the options for gene selection. What we need to hone in on is gene resistancy to pests and disease to stop mass destruction in our orchards from pests like woolly aphids. Currently, the only rootstock available that is genetically resistant to woolly aphids is the Northern Spy variety. However, the problem is that we aren't using it due to it being a rare variety, and that means that the genes for this woolly aphid resistancy are slowly disappearing.
Right. Should we be concerned about this loss of genetics?
Yes, this loss will be detrimental to the apple industry. If this gene is lost, our industry will be stuck with the severity of woolly aphids impacts until another solution comes along. We need to ensure that we are keeping a secure variety of genetics for when a problem like this comes along. This is currently being executed in the seed vault, where a variety of genes in seeds are being stored in the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in the Arctic. I believe that the horticulture industry should back themselves by doing something similar.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Now back to Rebecca at the station.
Thank you for that valuable insight, Dr. Miller. And now we cross back over to Sasha, where she interviews people at the local supermarket just to see how much insight the public has on the issue.
So here we are at the local supermarket, where we are going to test the public opinion on this recent outbreak. Here's a member of the public now. Sir, can I please get an interview? Sir, hang on just one interview, sir. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. I see you've just been to the supermarket. Did you notice the lack of apples on the shelves?
Well, yes, actually. Our family are pretty big apple eaters. I love my Granny Smiths, the kids love their Royal Galas. There's been a bit of an inconvenience because shops don't seem to stock them anymore. They're just flying off the shelves.
Do you know the cause of this issue? Have you heard of the woolly aphid outbreak?
Not particularly. I don't know if it's a distribution issue or a supplier's one. I've only heard about woolly aphids on the news, but I haven't really looked into it any further than that.
Well, the reason that there is no apples on the shelves is because of the devastating destruction the woolly aphids are causing on apple trees across the country. What are your thoughts on this issue?
I mean, this is completely unacceptable. I'm outraged by this. The fact that people can't go into a supermarket and pick the fruit of their choice, it's completely unacceptable. I've had enough. I'm out of here.
Now back to the station with Rebecca.
Thank you, Sasha, for that report. It's definitely going to be tough for those who are already struggling. Now let's review the statistics.
The woolly aphid is more active in warmer temperatures, and while they don't lay eggs, females produce on average 120 live young each. In one season, the woolly aphid can produce 10 to 20 generations, resulting in the rapidly increasing population numbers. Not only can the adult insects spread, but the younger stage of the insect, called crawlers, can also, making biosecurity a difficult feat. From a production point of view, a study conducted in an apple orchard in 1986, when the woolly aphid was first starting to be discovered, showed that in the first year of trees being infected, there was little yield loss, creating an illusion that woolly aphids wouldn't be a big issue. The following years showed an average loss of 2.4 grams or 13 apples per tree as the woolly aphids spread across the orchard, resulting in an overall general loss in growth and production from the apple trees. Some of the signs of woolly aphid damage are yellow curling leaves, poor plant growth, and white fluffy spots. Normal insecticides don't typically work on the woolly aphids as they have a waxy coating over their bodies. Instead, Confidor Guard, a soil drench, is used to control the insect, along with biological control methods, such as introducing parasitic wasps. Despite the northern spy rootstock, parasitic wasps are one of the few biological controls we have as a defense against the woolly aphid. The northern spy rootstock is known for its resistance to woolly apple aphid due to the presence of the resistance to a gene called ER1, which has been widely used in apple rootstock breeding. However, other rootstocks, such as Malling-Merton series, have been developed from the northern spy and offer varying levels of resistance to the woolly apple aphid. The resistance provided by these Malling-Merton rootstocks is not complete, but it generally results in lower infestation levels compared to other rootstocks, making them more effective at reducing damage. For numerical comparison, research studies often evaluate infestation levels on a scale based on aphid population density and damage observed. Northern spy-derived rootstocks typically show significantly reduced galling and aphid density of roots and shoots compared to non-resistant rootstocks, though exact numbers may vary depending on environmental conditions and the specific clones of the northern spy used in breeding. The limitations posed by using this resistant rootstock, especially in apple trees, is due to the northern spy being a large variety of tree. The current orchard market relies on dwarfing trees to maximize management and space, which is not an option when using the resistant rootstock variety. Today, most apple trees are grafted onto Malus palomar rootstock to achieve dwarfing. However, this rootstock is highly susceptible to pests and diseases, especially woolly aphids. Although techniques such as marker-assisted selection that indirectly select genotypes for one or more traits of interest, most apple species exhibit a gametophytic self-incompatibility mechanism, which prevents fertilization following self-pollination. Hopefully, research in the future can help save the apple industry so we can keep enjoying our apples on supermarket shelves.
Today's take-home message is that we should be concerned about the lack of genetic diversity in today's agriculture. The woolly aphid apple crisis is but a small part of the big picture. Thank you for listening to the program. I'm Rebecca Kruger, and have a great day, Australia.